Welcome everyone to episode 69, nice, of Video Game Book Club. I'm Tubby Mora, and today I am joined by Nakuso, Bajerwin, and Oot. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Ciao.
This time around, we're going to be talking about Monster Prom 3, Monster Road Trip. This game was nominated by Tubby Mora, and it was selected on the Wheel of Mystery with a 895 out of 1,883 chance, or 47.5% chance of winning. Monster Road Trip was developed and published by Beautiful Glitch and was originally released on October 21st, 2022 for PC. On Monster Road Trip's Steam page, it reads, quote, "Embark on a road trip like no other in this co-op narrative survival adventure. Visit fun locations, meet wacky characters, and manage your resources wisely. And yes, you still can date some hot monsters." Winky face emoji. But that's how the website describes the game. How would everyone here describe the game? The order of presenting will be Bajerwin, Nakuso, Tubby Mora, and then Oot. And I will also be including some responses from VGBC members who couldn't make it to the recording today. And this includes JC and Mr. McMahonmeat. And please be advised, there may be spoilers ahead. With that said, let's get started. Question 1. Describe the game in one sentence. Take it away, Bajerwin.
Well, thank you for asking me, Tubby.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Sorry, I was really excited. Everything you think that should happen and shouldn't happen in a road trip happens on this road trip. But for some reason, you're all monsters that follow a very loose but very detailed plot line, and at like 95% of the time, you're horny. So that's how I describe the game. Nagaso, how would you? What words would you say?
Monster Prom 3 is a highly entertaining game. It's filled with really some of the most funny dialogue I played in a long time, especially in multiplayer. P.S. Scott is the best boy. I wish men were real. How about you?
I agree.
How about you, Tubby?
For me, you and your friends embark on the greatest road trip of all time, where you will do things such as, but not limited to, engage with a blood-sexed cult, contemplate flipping a turtle over who is literally carrying the entire universe on its back, and fighting for workers' rights by making a dog into the CEO. I never thought I would ever include those three things in a single sentence. But what about you, Oot? How would you describe the game in one sentence?
Me, how I would describe Monster Prom 3, Monster Road Trip.
Mm-hmm.
You and your ghoulish friends take a road trip of your lives, explore new places, meet new people, and enjoy where the wind takes you.
Ooh.
But be careful with your choices, and you decide, or what the choices you will decide if you... Sorry.
Now you're good. Keep cooking.
Hey.
Be careful with choices, because one wrong move, and you'll be out of money, and you just have the tumbleweeds to talk to.
Dang.
Oh no!
That's depressing.
Wait, is that what
Yeah.
happens when you lose money? Is there a tumbleweed involved?
For me, it was what, a dead possum.
Oh my god!
Dang, that is pretty sad.
That is
What's funny?
pretty sad.
What's funny? It was money that I ran out of on my first run.
Oh, you poor
Oh.
soul.
That is
Mhm.
sad. That is somehow something I never ran out of. I was like, why?
Oh my god.
Why can't this
But
be
that-
real life?
But that's for me.
Okay.
We'll go to our close friends now.
And then JC wrote, Monster Prom 3, Monster Road Trip is a visual novel about road trips, meeting wacky characters, and getting into some very silly situations. Meat
said it,
wrote,
JC.
Meat wrote, a quirky road trip with funny characters and unforgettable experiences. All right, let's move on to question 2. What platform did you play the game on? What difficulty did you play on? And how many hours did it take you to finish the game? Take it away, Bajerwin.
The coveted platform that I played on was Steam on my PC.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I tried the different, oh my gosh, that's words. Different difficulties. That's easy to say. But I did start on the normal difficulty the first playthrough, which I did co-op with my homie who's after me actually, Nakuso. Hey, what's up? We played the first one in like less than 3 hours, but me personally, I put like at least 13 hours total into the game just to try it out. But yeah, you know, so could talk about himself next, I guess. You know, let's go.
Okay.
All right. So I played the game with Tubby Monster.
Yeah, secret. We actually did.
Why you guys keep cheating on me on these co-op games? Just kidding.
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
Couldn't help it.
he just called me. It was like, sup? You want to play? I was like, whoa.
Midnight during the work week.
Hey, I see how it is.
So I played with Bajerwin for a total of 3 times. And the first time it took us 2 hours and 50 minutes. We went on a long road trip. And we played on normal difficulty. And I played personally on Steam. That's what I personally played on. Using a keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse. Specifically a Corsair keyboard with red lighting and a Def Adder V3 Pro Razer mouse.
Oh my god.
Shoot, man.
Not sponsored. Let's go.
Oh yeah, wireless. Yeah, not sponsored.
Prime gaming materials for picking decisions.
And I played the game in 4K. So
hell yeah.
That was good. How about you, Toby? What did you do?
Yeah, but for real though, I mean, Razer, if you're listening and you want us to all of us to actually use your stuff, we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to send us stuff. We'll gladly use it and test it on games. But for me, I attended the Monster Prom 3 Monster Road Trip with JC, and we played on both easy and normal under the Friend Hugger and Road Tripper styles. We were able to get a total of 9.6 sweaty road trip hours under our belt, and we completed a total of 3 runs. Sadly, only one of them were successful. I'll probably go into that later. And me too, Nox. So I also used a Death Adder, but I used the V2 version, Razer mouse, and I used it to make all the wrong choices. Amen.
Dang.
What about
you? Oh, my keyboard? Razer something. A lot of colors. I actually have no idea.
Ooh, nice.
Let me flip this sucker over. Razer Black Widow V4.
Hey.
So Razer, that's 2 of us now.
Yeah, Razer Club. Just saying.
I could upgrade my stuff to some cool Razer things.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Oot? What you got?
Me. Unfortunately, I did not have a buddy to play with.
Wow,
me did not want to play with me.
Wow, me.
Whoa, me.
Out.
Whoa.
Can't protect yourself.
Reported.
Tried to harass him, but he beat.
I'm sorry, Oot. I'm sorry that me didn't want to play with you. That's messed up.
No. But no. Me, I was playing on a competitor mouse with the letter L on it. Not saying nothing else, but I was playing on PC. My first playthrough was on normal with the Vicky character. If you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it took me about 3.5 hours for my first run.
Okay.
And then I played on Prank Master normal, and that took me an hour.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then JC, I mean, pretty much the same thing since we both played the game at the same time. And then Meat wrote, I played on my limited edition Nintendo Switch OLED, Tears in My Eyeballs edition, Nintendo Switch OLED, the limited edition. And he played on normal difficulty, and he played for about 40 minutes. So Meat's got a lot of time under his belt for this game. 40 minutes. And I also checked. Apparently, he no longer owns it on Steam, so he probably returned it.
Really?
Wow.
Question 3. Describe your play style towards the game. How'd you play it, Badruin?
Okay, other than, very specifically the things I've done as a road trip partner with Noxo on this wonderful place, I mostly played, what's the word? Somehow, both in co-op and in solo games, I was lonely and never ended up dating anyone. I don't know how that happened. And this is speaking only on the successful, we made it to our destination runs, because there are times that we failed because we ran out of gas or something.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, no matter who I went for, I was just really bad at, what are the kids called nowadays? My Riz was not on point, man. I don't know what they say, man.
You didn't skip it?
Yeah,
Dang.
something like that. I don't even know, man. But the way we played was normally at the beginning, it would just be sort of like, oh, let's just do whatever. Let's just go to places that look fun. Let's just pick our favorite responses to these crazy like situations. And then when it would get like after like 3 weeks in, we're like, oh shoot, we're like running out of this one thing. We should probably play a little safer. But we would pretty much let our hearts and souls and, nether regions do the talking for our characters, I guess. So if I liked a certain character that I interacted with, then I'd probably adjust my playthrough to like include that so that they could still be in my party, or like if they took away a resource, I would just pad that up so I wouldn't have to get rid of that hitchhiker, for example. I dabbled with different playable characters. I even got one of the DLC ones. I got the moth person because Hazel's adorable. But I mostly played with Vicky because Vicky, she's my girl.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I did name them. I gave them all fun names based off of my own name. So like I named her Erwina, and then I played a dude and I named him Erwin.
Nice.
So the Derwin. And then I named Rinny for the Winnie or Rinny. I couldn't decide at the time, but for my moth. Those are the different ways I've played this game. And honestly, since there's so many outcomes and events that you can encounter, I'm like, I need to do anything at least once. Even if it might kill me on this road trip, I need to know what happens if I flip that turtle. It was important to me. Nox, so what else did you do in your playthroughs?
So initially, I played the game in multiplayer with you, and we played a total of 3 times, and we did it all voice acted. Can't believe I forgot
that's
to say
important.
that.
I'm so sorry.
We ruined our voices after the first session. Man, my throat was dead, and then we did it again the next day, and then again. Then after the 3rd session, I actually had to take a break from talking for a whole day because my throat was kind of dead. When I got into Scott, but Jordan knows, I was screaming. He's so energetic. He's always yelling.
Good boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go with him, and it was like, man, I'm gonna regret that later. But it was super fun. I had a ton of fun playing with you, Bajurin. All the crazy, weird things that happened, the twists, the jokes, the crude humor, and so much more. We really spent a lot of time making our own choices, a lot of them being unhinged. And along with that, I believe at the start, Bajurin focused on hype for our first play session, while I went into a different stat. Initially, I chose Brian Yu because of Pro ZD. that was it. And then I chose Juan, a DLC character, because of Sino from Genshin Impact, the same voice actor.
Nice.
And lastly, I got Glitch because remember, glitches get bitches.
That is true.
That's like the only reason to make that stupid joke.
That's the only reason you need.
That's so funny though, because you did better that playthrough than I did, because I was staring at a lamppost at the end.
Oh yeah,
lonely.
but Jern was humping a lamppost at the end.
Yeah,
nice.
I was just,
Lucky.
as moths do. That was my.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I did play a couple rounds solo. Initially, when I played with Bajurin, Polly told me I was a nerd. I was like, I'm not a nerd. I'll show you. So I came back in solo, and I rizzed her up. And I actually got a date.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Dang.
That was difficult, man. You don't understand.
Oh, I understand.
I got to taste her toilet wine, if you know what I mean.
Oh, dang. Lucky. Did you get to conquer her like a fort?
Oh, yeah, like a fortress?
Like a fortress? Nice. Congrats, dude.
Yeah. How about you, Toby? Who did you conquer?
Oh, well, that's kind of... So there's a story behind that. I'll get into it. So, like many people in this recording today, like JC and I went into this game completely blind. We had no idea what we were doing, who we were doing, where we were doing. We just try to figure out like what the end game or end goal was based on like the tutorials that were being thrown at us. By the way, tutorials, shout out to the show Convenient Exposition and our monster boys Cormac S. Thompson and Hunter McCarthy. We love you guys. Anyways, eventually like we ended up failing and finishing the game by accident by bringing out like one of our stat points to 0 in our first run, which I think was mined, which was the exact opposite. Anytime you built up hype, it would always destroy a mine, we noticed. And yeah, we accidentally failed the first time. And then we accidentally beat the game because we brought up our hype to 25 points. And, you know, as cool as it was finishing the game really quickly. We were kind of sad because the experience like ended just way too quickly for its own good. We felt like we had to play more. So that's when we decided to play the game on easy friend hugger mode and marathon the game for 5.5 hours to just experience as much as we possibly could. This meant making sure no stat ever reached 25 or 0. Like, we were locked in. We were focused. We had both Polly and Scott by their pants, their romance maxed. Everything was going good. Our magic was at level 28. We made it to the end of week 10. It was all going according to plan, and we were about to end our greatest road trip ever until I made probably one of the dumbest decisions ever. And without thinking, without any hesitation, I decided to hang out with the lamb at camp at the end of week 10 because I want to have a heart-to-heart with this nice little lamb. And the next thing you know, our soul stat went over to -2 and we failed. I looked back at the footage and I was like, why did I do that? And then I realized because before we picked up the lamb, we had Stu, who was like the stoner monster. And apparently he doesn't give any stat changes in camp. So up to that point, I was thinking, okay, so that means none of the hitchhikers give stat changes. And then that's when I found out that completely effed up our 5.5 hour run by talking to the lamb at the very end. But that's kind of how it went. It was very sad. I'll probably post our reaction at the end of that run because we were devastated. We were actually speechless. 5.5 hours of just fully voice acted fun and all these weird, wacky scenarios, and then just that screw it up by talking to the lamb.
Freaking lamb.
The freaking lamb. God dang it. It was pretty painful. But what about you, Oot? How did you play your road trip, dude?
How did I play?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you, I've had this game in my wish list for a while, but I never saw any guide how to play. I just went in, started making random choices, kind of chaotic at first. I'd always choose whenever there's option for that. What was that? It was a choice where you'll give a lot of points, but also could take away a lot of points. Whenever that one came up, I would always choose that. And then halfway through my first run, I was like, oh shit, now I gotta pay attention. But then I would still always choose that one whenever it pop up. So it's kind of chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Live life on the edge.
Pretty much.
Life is a highway.
I never got to the point where I found a hitchhiker my first during my run.
Really?
Which was kind of sad. I saw that in the main menu, obviously you could pick up the lamb. But I never got to see a hitchhiker. I would always go to, as soon as we would get to a campsite, I would go to the shop, that octopus squid guy.
Noodles.
And then, Noodles. And I would just go trade stuff with him. I played it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even risk anyone. I just played it PG-13. I was in it for the ride.
Dang. That was only Nakuso rizzed someone up successfully and reached the end.
That was my goal. I had to.
I tried. I really did.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Multiple times.
There. And on her solo playthrough, she also.
Yeah. I was doing my best. He was there watching me as a moth and a Frankenstein chick. Could not risk anyone.
Dang, sorry.
Maybe
No, that's right. If I could go back, I would go back for that.
Who?
Was it the
lamb?
No. I think it'll be the cult receptionist in the motel.
Nice.
Fernandez?
Sadie. No, just kidding.
No, it's the one where you what? Spoilers.
Yeah, go for it.
Kill, if you join their super secret amenities ultra rare super club, you have to sacrifice someone, and she'll get you in there.
Dang. It's okay, Oot. Maybe the next Monster Prom.
Maybe.
Sometimes that's how it goes, dude.
I got the all-you-can buffet towels. Mm-hmm. That's what I remember to call it. That's mine.
Okay. All JC wrote was, try to stay alive and make it to the end. Meat wrote, for my first playthrough, I went full strength and constitution and played as the buff kitty and named him Meowsicles. I put 100% effort into reading along with the story and tutorial, so I could understand what was happening and beat the game in a timely fashion and not miss my proof of completion submission. I ended up beating the game on my first playthrough by stopping at every motel possible, simply for potential romance scenarios, and coincidentally ended up with enough points to roll the end credits. Thank you for your submission, Meat. Question 4. What is one thing you like about the game and why? Take it home, Bajoran.
Oh man, what one thing? All right, I
One
guess.
thing.
So like, of all the things I could say, I'm gonna talk about. Man, this is actually hard. Give me a second. First thing, I'm gonna make this such an umbrella thing I like that it just makes sense and it covers all three of my topics. Okay, that's how I'm cheating this.
That's
The
cheating.
details.
This is like 5
this
other
is how-
people. You gotta.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just broadening my answer to the details. There's
All right.
those Easter eggs, those references to things, the details of the characters that are somehow consistent, like the toilet wine with Polly and just being a good boy for Scott. Just the quantity and the quality of the story and the dialogue is kind of crazy. Like there's over 700 different events or something, and like the different outcomes. There's a lot. And I somehow feel like I am like every time I play, there's always new stuff being added to like my gallery, and I'm like, there's a lot going on in this game. It's wonderful. Each road trip is different, even when there's things that I do that are exactly the same, like flipping or not flipping the turtle. I'll never forget that. I had to stop and really think about what I was gonna choose. The first time I ran into that, like I had to get up and pace my room. Like I had not been stopped by any of these choices up until that point, except for do you flip the turtle or not? The detail, like all the different Yu-Gi-Oh references and just anything, everything, things I didn't think that people were gonna put in a video game ever were just randomly like, oh look, this is a nice little. You see that location? It's exactly what you think it is. Yeah, that's an Attack on Titan reference.
Mm-hmm.
Or something, just like, oh, wow, anything and everything was in here. Everything that could happen and everything that shouldn't happen on a road trip really did happen. And that is just something I really enjoyed about this, was that there was just so much to look forward to. It really was the epitome of a monster road trip, if that was a real thing, if I was truly a monster and on a road trip with a bunch of weirdos. I felt so immersed in that world, in that story. But that is like my number one thing. What's Nakaso's number one thing?
For me, I have to give it up to not only the developers who programmed the game, but also the artists. The amount of artwork, the sexy, the cool, the curse looking, the chibi, the stickers you can unlock, the sketches, the line art is just incredible for how much they put into the game. For every frame of animation, for every change, there's something that you can unlock. You can always view it in the gallery. Every playthrough, I always like looked in there, looked at all the cool stuff, the sketches, the concept art. There's so much.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the most I've seen in any game in terms of really hammering in how much went into this. With how much you can unlock, all the crazy characters you run into. I just loved it. The art style is so pretty and vibrant. I was like really focused on like, wow, this is a really cool, like sort of cartoony 90s-ish, early 2000 character designs, but also very identifiable by the silhouettes when they sometimes just show silhouettes of characters. I was like, wow, this is like has so much potential. And a lot of the characters actually return from previous games. So it's just cool seeing those represented in this game. How about you, Toby?
Man, like you guys pretty much nailed it on the head. I'm just gonna like focus in kind of like on something that Bajoran had said earlier. Like again, a lot of my excitement that I experienced from this game like came down to just seeing and discovering where we were gonna go next, like where the next set of crazy shenanigans are about to happen. Like the sheer amount of different locations and prompts, like Bajoran said, and like the different sub scenarios in each one is absolutely insane. Like this game is just freaking jam packed with content and dialogue. I looked it up, and there's about I think there's 68 different locations, each with 3 different sub scenarios. So in total, there were approximately 204 different prompts you could actually read through and experience. So
well, actually, it's
the art
69 locations.
exhibit. Okay, well, the art exhibit, the dungeon, a city under attack from a kaiju, like the world's biggest potato, board of a 1-person country. But Jordan mentioned it earlier. There's just a ton of different places to go to, and what's crazy is that's not including the hitchhikers and their random events that would happen too. I think each of them maybe had 2 or 3 random events that could happen as you're traveling to a different location. And yeah, beautiful glitch. Did an amazing job with the different settings, and it was just exciting to see what kind of weird and wacky scenario was gonna come up next. And that by itself is what gives this game so much replayability too. So they did an amazing job with that. What about you, Oot?
Mine would have to be the characters. Each character in their designated spot, they just fit in there perfectly. Even when you would have characters that would just appear, that would just come in there, it would complement them. It would add great laughs. Mine would be when I went to a manor and I saw a Phantom of the Opera guy just singing, and some pop star just randomly joined in, and that gave me a very big laugh, very big chuckle. But they have so much life in them. You can feel yes, they belong here, and it's just a constant party wherever you go. They're just goofy and silly, and I just love that so much. Yeah.
And then let's see. JC wrote the art. Writing was humorous and somewhat nonsensical at times, but never outright awful. The hitchhiker concept was way cool to bring in some other characters into the mix. Meat wrote, the characters are just so lovable. Every single one of them. Everyone is just so positive and happy-go-lucky. I'm all for it. My favorite character is probably the professional big spoon cuddler at one of the hotels, because who wouldn't want a pro cuddler hugging you to sleep every night?
I agree.
It's beautiful. Question 5. What is one thing you did not like, and how would you improve it, Bajerwin?
Gosh dang it. I didn't think I'd have to bring this up again. But this is a visual novel game. How the heck is there not a dialogue history mechanic? What is going on? What is this?
Yeah.
What kind of world do we live in where that's illegal? This is a visual novel game. The dialogue is beautiful. The outcomes are crazy. Why can't you let me go back and reread the silly thing I just said to this person? I mean, not person, it's a monster, but person monster thing.
Yes, go off.
Just the basics of visual novel mechanics are somehow missing in this visual novel. Oh, okay, I'm in my happy place now. It's okay. It's all good. I took a deep breath because this game is still good, even though for some reason they just don't have that wonderful mechanic. They even tease you with other basic mechanics of skipping this scene because you've seen it before, but only the beginning and end scenes. You cannot skip things you've already witnessed, even as that played character. And it makes me cry inside. Not that I don't like rereading my silly stuff, as I was already saying. I'd like to reread my silly dialogue choices. But, there's a limit to me wanting to go back and me wanting to skip what I've already read 14 separate times at the same motel, choosing the same thing, the same choices. I just, sometimes I like a balance.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be so simple. Add that in. Sold. I would have one less thing to dislike about this game. I'd have actually 3 less things if they added those very basic visual novel mechanics. Gosh dang it. This should not be legal. If you're going to make a visual novel game, this is
Yeah, I've never seen a visual novel that doesn't have something like that.
Until now.
It doesn't have I mean, I understand since it's not fully voiced that there's not an auto play feature. That's fine. I don't care about that as much. The fact that there's no history of what was said or what choices were made, that there's no skipping for things you've definitely already seen. No matter how many different versions that you've chosen of it, it's just not skippable. I'm just saying. those would be wonderful things for this game. And I'm done cooking this meal now because I can go on forever. Noxo, please tell us your one thing. Crying.
All
now.
right. Okay, Tubby, I think I know what you're going to talk about.
Maybe.
So I'm going to talk about something. I'm pretty sure.
I think
I'm going to talk about the other thing.
Okay.
So I know the game is centered around a road trip while dating is secondary. So I can see the design decision the developers took. I mean, still, it's limiting. One hitchhiker to a camp feel weird. It felt weird. This is specifically a multiplayer to me. When I was playing with Bajirwin, I was like, okay, so we can just call someone or wait for someone. But now you can only have one person unless you kick them off. But that screws over the other person if they're in your party. So that was unfortunate. Other than that, you can like date Polly or Scott for like other options. But how come it couldn't just scale to multiplayer? If you have two people, you should have the option of having two hitchhikers that can go back and forth between turns with the players. So this will allow you, because I thought about it, okay, maybe they did this just so the dialogue wouldn't be weird. But I was thinking, usually that date or like that person is tied to the person who calls. So you could just have it so it just every other turn it switches to that hitchhiker for that conversation when you're on the road. So there's no overlap. I really wanted to do more dating, but the player, it didn't let me. I was limited. I was a loser. I was a little loser boy.
Yeah.
I was like,
They made us both losers.
I couldn't riz anyone. I bought the cat. I bought Glitch. And look where I was left. In the ditch. How about you, Tubby?
Oh, man. All right. Beautiful Glitch. All you lovely people made an awesome game here. There's no denying that. Well, holy crap. I think this decision, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. I don't know. But I think you guys may have shot yourself in the foot using this whole stat system. I understand the appeal, right? The whole survival, points, your decisions have consequences. You can't go to 25. You can't go to 0. It's cool and all. But it's very jarring when you're playing a visual novel game with like this amount of content, and then it's like you're forced to pick and decide what you have to do versus what you want to do. There were so many moments in this game where JC and I were like, man, we really want to visit that animal shelter. But no, we need to go fight Godzilla in this city for some reason to make sure we bring our soul back up. And it's just like, okay, if you guys want to continue going this route, like please continue to develop it, of course. But at the same time, like would it have hurt to do like a, I don't know, free road trip mode where you could just pick options without having to worry about stats? Again, I'm coming at this game from the perspective of jumping to the series for the first time. And it's unfortunate when you're playing through the game and you want to experience everything, but there's no way to actually just experience everything without looking at the stats. And again, if you do want to go this route of survival mechanics, kind of like take what Noxo said and like think about implementing it in a way that supports more players, like scale it properly. Because I mean, that could be a cool feature, like stepping in to steal someone's like stamina or steal someone's magic. Like again, there's cool features in there, but it can't just be tacked on like the way it is. It's just, it's weird that there's all these survival mechanics that you're trying to go for. And all of it comes down to, it's either 25 or 0. It's just, it needs more time to be fleshed out. I know a lot of fans of the series are very mixed from the reviews I've seen. You have something going here. You just need to tweak it a bit more. And that's kind of where I'm at with this game. That's the one thing I didn't really like is the whole.
Can I add on to that? Real quick?
Yeah. Go for it.
I actually thought about this, like how they would have changed it. And in the first couple of games, if I believe, but definitely the way it worked is you build up your stats to get the date or ending you wanted. So I thought that could have worked a little bit better. Or you could have kept the system here, but have it a full 3 weeks to get to the end with the stat of 25 to win. So you have 7 days, actual 3 weeks in game to hit your goal. But
Mhm.
hitting 0 can still be done, for a secondary failure. However, this won't punish you for working towards what you really want to see.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a good way to do it too. A set amount of time, and then whoever
Mhm.
has the highest points in a specific category, it's just like, yeah, there are a lot of ways you could do it. We could probably do a whole episode talking about how they could improve this point
Yeah.
system, but I'm not going to take up too much time here. What about you, Oot? What's the one thing you didn't like?
One thing I didn't like in the visual novel games I have played, it's either save option or like reverse option to go back if you made a choice you didn't like. It'd mainly be that having an option to like, you're like, oh, I like this, I like going here, but I want to go back and go see the other option that I could have chosen for the run. It would have been nice. I guess that this game they want you to be. You make the decision and then you move on. You don't stay in the place for too long. They want you to explore more. But I think that would have been like a little nice option to have, at least for me.
You're 100% correct.
I agree.
That would have been
That's me.
nice. Okay.
Yeah. Going back to you.
JC wrote no save slots, and JC was pretty upset about that. That 5.5 hour run, there was no way to save, so we were committed to finishing it no matter what. I had work the following day, and it was getting way past my bedtime, but because he couldn't save, we had to keep playing. Yeah, JC went off on that. Like that was one of the worst decisions that could have possibly been made, especially with the game with this many options. Like, dude,
Wait.
you're cooking. Like, they need a way to save.
Wait. You can close it and it'll reload it, right?
Hmm?
You can close the game and it'll reload from the last.
Even in co-op.
Co-op, I don't know. In single player, it lets you.
Oh, in single player, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. In co-op, again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can hit me with the actually in the comments if co-op does save, but it's just weird that it didn't save it.
But I don't know. I assume it bases off whoever's hosting the co-op game. Like if I just disconnected and Noxo was hosting, then it probably wouldn't. Yeah, like
I don't know. Who knows?
I guess I'll test it out later.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, it should tell you because there's nowhere in the game that tells you. Even
it just says that it auto saves. It says it auto saves, but doesn't actually, as far as I know, give you an indication where the auto saves happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, specifically for multiplayer, it doesn't. I don't know.
It's not obvious, at least.
Okay. Well, if it is there, they should definitely make it more obvious.
If it isn't there, they should make it there.
In general, yeah.
I agree. Safe places are important.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. This is what Meat wrote. I didn't like that only some of the dialogues are voiced. As someone with very poor reading skill, I have to read things over and over and sometimes out loud in order for my brain to retain information. Don't get me wrong, the game is good as is, and mayhaps once again just need another classic Mr. McMahon meets skill issue. At the same time, I think the characters would really benefit from having fully voiced dialogue throughout the whole game. That would have been amazing.
That's insane, but I can see why.
More for it.
There's so much dialogue. I don't think that's a lot of money for how
I'd
small.
Pay for it.
Wait,
an indie game.
Pay for it.
No, I mean like an indie game. Like that is a lot of work for how much dialogue is in this game. Because initially I was the same with Meat. I was like, man, I wish it was this. Like, it was fully voice acted, but then I seen how many endings, how many scenarios. I was like, okay,
I get it.
But it would still be cool if there was like more in general. It doesn't have to be like fully, but like
I think where they could put voice lines
Mm-hmm.
would be inside the camp area where you can like actually talk to them.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be nice, like especially the deep conversations.
And failing your deep conversations.
That'd be
or
pretty
winning
cool.
them.
Yeah.
And then like your endings.
Mm-hmm.
The narrator could be speaking at the beginning and the end.
They could have definitely put in like select areas and still.
They have some really good voice actors too. I was like, look at the lineup. I was like, wow.
Alejandro.
It's a stacked voice acting cast. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to question 6. What is your final verdict and final rating from 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale? Take it home, Bajirwin.
Well. Monster Prom 3, Monster Road Trip was the first Monster Prom game I actually finished. But it does not mean that I won't play the other ones, because I was actually kind of sold. I was kind of a little bit invested in the shenanigans of a ghost and a werewolf and their friends. I'm so entertained by this whole franchise just from one entry, and it's like the third one. So can you imagine what the first two are like? I can't even comprehend that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But just this third one alone, the absolute lunacy of this game, the well-placed Easter eggs. Oh, that's really hard for me to say for some reason. All the details that I mentioned earlier, all the details that we have yet to experience. I'm just wanting to learn more about all of that, all the characters, how the different relationships play out, how a relationship plays out in general, since I haven't had one yet in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just, even if I have my game mechanic gripes with this game, I enjoyed my time with this particular entry of the Monster Prom series, and I would love to dive into the other games as well, including the DLC. That's a weird thing for me. DLCs are strange, but it was kind of worth it. I was very entertained, and that is why I give Monster Road Trip 8.5 pranks with a Z out of 10.
Nice. Call back.
Heyo.
Okay. So, I love I'm just joking. No, seriously. I really enjoyed playing this game in co-op. That was definitely my favorite way to play. Bajoran and me doing the voice acting really made me engaged in the game. And when I played single player, it was still great. The dialogue was still fun, but not having that dialogue that we did, voice acting and just reading it doesn't hit as good. It was like not as fun. It kind of was like I still played it here and there, and it's just nice having that extra layer, unhinged, seeing other kinks for your whoever you're playing with, and the dialogue is just unbeatable. So, I mean, the game has great art, characters, as everyone mentioned. The scenarios are crazy. What happens, and unfortunately for me, what drags it down is the game can just feel repetitive, especially after the first 5 runs. Like just the way it's set up, it kind of just drags into this one thing, one stat, unless you really can hone down and like play. But then if you're a multiplayer, you may or may not be able to save. So it's kind of like, man, I gotta go, but I can't go. It's so like frustrating, but still, the game made me interested. I want to go back and play the first 2 games, especially since they are more focused on the data mechanics. I want to see how the mechanics in general developed over time along with the characters, because that's one big thing I heard. If you play the first 2 games, you see the character development, and the returning characters make a lot more sense when they're introduced again. Otherwise, I still think this is a really good kind of intro to a visual novel. It's not too crazy hard. It's not too crazy easy as well. Funny dialogue. Humor may be hit or miss for some people, but for me, it was pretty funny. I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10.
All right. Monster Road Trip. I mean, it's a fun time. Highly recommend playing this game with friends and going for that full voice acting experience. It's like for JC and I, and just I'm sure like for Nakaso and Bajoran, based off what you guys have said, it's such a fun game to just read what these characters are saying out loud. This game is probably the most I've ever sworn in my entire life, and I was just like, dang, this is a good time. Beautiful character art. Again, dialogue is just hilarious. Scenarios are over the top. The reason why I'm kind of bringing the score down is like, again, it's just having those aspects of things you have to do versus the things you wanted to do in this game is kind of a bummer. The other thing that we also didn't really mention was, yeah, you got to pick your character, but I feel like your character didn't really matter. It was more like it felt like you were kind of like a third wheel on Polly and Scott's road trip. And I really wish that our character interacted more with the world, the character that we picked. And depending on who you picked, would have decided like what other options you could have made. So again, there's like a whole thing that could get into there. But it's just I feel like they're hitting their stride and they're doing great with the series, but there's a lot of stuff that they can still improve. And again, I understand that they're trying to do this thing with the whole stat points. I know this is the third entry in the franchise. They're probably trying to change things up, and that's why they did it. But they definitely need to overhaul it and kind of like figure out what they want their game to be and what they want to target in terms of a visual novel experience. But I still had a great time with it. And this is the reason why I am giving Monster Hunter 3 Monster Fury Road 7.5 monsters out of 10. Amen. What about you, Oot?
I enjoyed Monster Prom 3. It was on my Steam. I thought I was getting called out by Steam a lot whenever I see it pop up, but I'm glad I got called out and I finally got a chance to play it. It was fun, enjoyable, refreshing to play. The characters are wacky and the environments are just goofy, and it's fun just to like go explore and have fun. I'm sure with multiplayer it's a barrel blast, but in single player I enjoyed it personally. I got to take my time, got to read through everything, and I'm glad I got the chance to play it finally after all this time.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go get the other entries in the series.
Yeah, and then Meat will join.
Yeah, and Meat will join me finally.
Yeah, finally. Jeez.
Yeah, Meat, come on.
But with that, it was fun, and I would give it an 8 out of 10. Now back to you, Deb.
Wait, what was your score?
8.
8 out of 10. Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, Bun Buns is here. Lady Bun Buns.
Bun Buns.
Wait, how come Buns play with meat? Oh.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out one day.
Me finished so fast, I don't even think she had time to install it.
Yeah. Good going, Meat.
You didn't want, to be judged for going after the mermaid princess.
Oh my god. All right, so you said 8? Ooh.
Yes, 8.
Okay, perfect. JC wrote, the game was super fun. I found myself smiling and laughing a ton while playing. I enjoyed my experience, but I also think it was boosted by playing it co-op and doing some do-it-yourself voice acting. With that being said, visual novels are usually upheld solely by their plot, and this one barely manages to scrape by. It's for sure meant to be a chill party game to play with a friend or two, and I can see that concept not appealing to some people. 7.5 out of 10. This is what Meat wrote. My experience with this game was short, yet sweet. I would have done more than one playthrough if I didn't forget my Switch at the apartment and then be out of the apartment for an entire week, because I would have loved to do a co-op playthrough with Buns especially. There's the answer. Sorry, Meat. Just kidding. Nice. For the price, Monster Hunter World Prom Island Adventure, well played, is well worth it. Even at the premium price for 20-something bucks in the Nintendo eShop, this game offers tons of fun for the whole family and replayability, and I'm all for it. I give my 40-minute playthrough of the game an 8 out of 10. So here is the final score breakdown. Bajerwin gave it an 8.5. Nakuso gave it an 8. Tabimura gave it a 7.5. Oot gave it an 8. JC gave it a 7.5. Mr. McMahon gave it an 8. So calculating it all out, Monster Prom 3 Monster Road Trip gets our final average rating of 47.5 out of 60, or 79.2%. Definitely worth playing. But enough of that. No more Monster Prom. It's bonus mystery question time. Here's the question. What video game character would you want to go on a road trip with? So who would you go with, Bajerwin?
Oh my gosh, first thing I thought about, I said Link, because I'm basic. Why? Because 1, Link, he's well-traveled. 2, he is always stocked and ready for anything and everything. He's always got extra clothes, he's got weapons, he's got food, he can cook for you. If we're thinking specifically like Tears of the Kingdom, Link especially, he's got it all. Someone opened my door. Hello. Good night. Okay. Sorry, I got really distracted by that.
Good night, Bajerwin's parents.
Yeah, now they're They have to say bye to my cat too. It's way more important.
Anyways, go on.
Sorry. Anyway, no, hold on 1 second. You can just take her. You can kidnap her if you need to. I'm still recording.
I'm recording for VGBC, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. It's right there.
This is literally live,
Oh
being
my
broadcast to
Yeah.
5,000 people.
Yeah, 5,000.
Hi,
Minus-
Derwin, Mom, and Cat.
Minus 49,900. Sorry, I can't focus when someone walks into my room. I can't not acknowledge them. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. The other option was Pikachu, because Pikachu makes sense and he's adorable, and I would be a Pokemon trainer if I was on a road trip with him. And that's also cool. So, Noxa, who would you go on a road trip with? I'm so sorry.
Okay. Originally, my answer was going to be really 69, but I'm going to say that for another time.
All right.
I don't want to get canceled today.
Yeah, maybe
I
later.
was going to really cancel a response, but it's okay because I was sleep deprived, and as always, when I'm sleep deprived, I have always the best answers to questions. And for this one, I have Parappa the Rapper
Heck
because
yeah.
it would be so stupid
Ooh.
and funny to sing along to the destinations. I even thought, like, what if like the whole mechanic when we were just on a road trip, you just had to sing in order to get to other destinations, to other scenarios. And if you fail them, an option will appear. I just thought, how cool would it be to have a rhythm game? How cool to have Parappa there, kick, kick, punch, 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 kick, 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 as Tubby knows, on a road trip. I think that this would be a great, fun time. And honestly, I just want to spam words while driving. But remember, if you get a bad ending, it could be really bad. Like crashing, falling into a ditch,
Car swerving.
exploding, flying up, getting kidnapped like Mussolini. And if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But yeah, Parappa the Rabbit, please bring that back, please. Anyway, how are you, Tubby?
Dude, that's awesome that you picked Parappa. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna stick with the theme of music then. This is so specific, but the video game character, or I guess characters I would want to go on a road trip is specifically that one band that appears in the Rock Band opening cinematics. The singer, the guitar, the bass and drum player, the ones who are like standing on top of the car as the car is like swerving and flipping in the air. Just their ability to play every single Rock Band song known to mankind and never miss a single beat no matter what, I think would be incredible. Just to have awesome rock music being played live as you're just driving road trip style. So I mean, get those guys and then get Parappa. I think we're gonna have a good time here. What about you, Oot?
Mine, it would have to be Octane from Apex Legends. No matter where you go, he's gonna have a blast. You're gonna do some crazy stunts. You may or may not have your legs afterwards,
go
but
fast.
it's fine. We inject needles full of green mystery liquid, and we go faster.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. And don't worry. It's healthy.
It's healthy.
You can install vents so you're okay afterwards, but it's healthy. It's green. It's like Earth.
Buns is just writing, what is Oot saying?
Buds, close your ears.
I bet Buns is just thinking, is Oot pretty much just saying he's gonna invite a druggie?
Yeah.
To his road trip?
No. He's fine.
No, it's healthy. It's fine. Green
It's
fluids
healthy. It's
are okay.
green.
Kosher, it's vegan.
Yeah. Sometimes it's glowy, but it's fine.
Oh my
think that's fine.
God, dude.
Who wouldn't want to go on a road trip with something like that?
I was
Mm-hmm.
Octane?
Yeah, Octane.
I love this answer.
No, I'm with it. I just was not expecting that of all the characters. Oh my God.
And Cortana, because she's basically Siri, but holographic.
Oh man.
Before Rampart.
Dude,
Before she kills Rampage.
That is so good. Okay. Shout out to Apex Legends. All right, let's see
Right.
here. So, JC wrote Breath of the Wild Link question mark. I feel he'd
Hey.
appreciate the nature and the landmarks as well as the apples and the sticks. If he had to walk far or eat a meal in some motel, he also wouldn't complain. That's true. Link is
That is so true.
Breath of the Wild Link is very low maintenance.
Most of the links I think are pretty low maintenance now.
Mm-hmm. So
Most of them.
Here is I mean, if you know me, you know who he's gonna say.
Mifa.
Yep. I'd bring Mifa from The Legend of Zelda. Drive down the road without a care in the world. Windows down, Slipknot on the radio, her fins flapping violently in the wind, and a faint whistle sound can be heard as the wind slaps through her gills. We would stop to eat at my favorite seafood restaurant and watch the Borderlands movie in a drive-in movie theater.
The Borderlands movie specifically.
Specifically Borderlands. What the frick is this response?
Why?
I don't know. And then he wrote, when we get tired, we could stop at a cheap motel and hire a professional cuddler to snuggle us into a blissful escape from reality. I just really want to show Mifa the truly beautiful things that the world has to offer in the form of a road trip. I'd even let her shift the gears if she's good. If she's good.
If she's good.
Jesus.
Was there quotations on that? Shift the gears.
No, this is Meat. Our man is speaking straight from the heart.
Yeah, that was very
The
clean.
metaphorical or the real?
I'm
That-
glad.
You're probably going to have to ask Meat that one next time you talk with him.
Okay, you're right.
That was a beautiful
I've seen-
story, Meat.
I've seen the figures he's bought.
Yep.
I
like how all those
Legend
are.
of Zelda characters made it in here for bonus mystery.
Yeah, good job, everyone. Good job, Meat. Thank you
Good
for your
job,
answer.
Link.
Thank you, JC. Thank you, Meat. Thank you, everyone, for all your answers.
Thank you everyone for choosing some pretty cool freaking characters.
And that concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club. Thank you for tuning in. And if you'd like to join the Video Game Book Club Discord and play and discuss video games alongside us and the community, the link will be in the description box below. With that said, take care, have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.